Welcome to English Storytime Adventures. In today's video, we're going to listen to an exciting short story that will help you improve your English skills. Listen carefully and follow along with the subtitles. Before we begin, here are some key words you'll hear in the story. Pay attention to their meaning and try to use them in your own sentences later. Inspiring, causing someone to feel motivated or uplifted. Attendance, being present at a particular place or event. Optional, something that is not required. Enable, to make something possible or give someone the tools to achieve something. Now that you're familiar with these words, let's begin the story. Lily Parker was an extraordinary woman. From a young age, her mind worked differently from others. Numbers spoke to her in ways that words couldn't. While her classmates struggled with basic math, Lily was solving advanced equations, fascinated by the infinite possibilities hidden in the patterns. By the time she reached university, her brilliance was undeniable. Professors would often invite her to discussions that went far beyond the regular curriculum. Her attendance at lectures was optional, not because she didn't need the learning, but because everyone knew she was far ahead. They often joked that Lily could be teaching the class instead, but with brilliance came isolation. Lily found it difficult to connect with others. While they talked about everyday things, parties, relationships, and weekend plans, she was consumed by the problems she longed to solve. She had no time for distractions. Her work felt like her only purpose, something that enabled her to make sense of a world that otherwise seemed so chaotic. One evening, while Lily was in the library, her professor approached her. He carried a stack of papers with him and placed them gently on her desk. "This is an unsolved equation," he said, a soft smile on his face. "It has stumped some of the greatest minds. I thought you might find it inspiring." Lily's heart raced as she scanned the paper. The numbers blurred together momentarily before forming a perfect picture in her mind. It was challenging, yes, but it wasn't the complexity of the equation that caught her attention. It was its beauty. The more she looked at it, the more she felt that solving this could unlock something important, not just for her, but for the entire field of mathematics. Days turned into weeks as Lily poured her soul into cracking the problem. She skipped meals, stayed up late, and even stopped going to classes altogether. Her attendance was already sparse, but now she seemed almost invisible to her peers. Most of them didn't understand why Lily was pushing herself so hard. To them, it was just another equation, but for Lily, it was everything. At her lowest point, exhausted and frustrated, Lily decided to take a walk. The cool evening air brushed against her face, calming her racing thoughts. She found herself in the campus garden, where she often went to think. The stillness around her gave her clarity. She realized that she had been focusing too much on the solution itself without considering the process. Sometimes, answers didn't come through force. They needed patience and reflection. Returning to her room, she sat down at her desk and calmly looked at the equation again. It was as if something inside her had shifted. The numbers began to make sense in a way they hadn't before. The answer wasn't hidden in the complexity, but in the simplicity she had overlooked. With newfound energy, she wrote out the solution. Her hands trembled as she finished, but there it was. The equation was solved. It wasn't just a personal victory. It was a moment of profound understanding, a realization that her journey wasn't about proving her intelligence. It was about balance, enabling her mind to work in harmony, not just under pressure. The next day, Lily submitted her work to the university, but she did so quietly, without any desire for attention. To her, The act of solving the equation was enough. Recognition was optional. She didn't need the world to applaud her achievements, only to know that she had made a contribution. A week later, Lily received a letter from the head of the mathematics department. The world had noticed her achievement after all. Her solution had opened new doors for future discoveries, and her name was being mentioned among the brightest minds in the field. But Lily wasn't chasing fame. The only thing she sought was peace with her own mind. As she sat in the garden once again, feeling the breeze and watching the sunset, she realized something important. True brilliance wasn't just about solving difficult problems. It was about understanding oneself. And for the first time, Lily felt that she truly had. Great job following along with the story. Now, let's review the key words we learned today. Inspiring, causing someone to feel motivated or uplifted. Example from the story. I thought you might find it inspiring, her professor said as he handed her the unsolved equation. Attendance, being present at a particular place or event. Example from the story. Her attendance at lectures was optional, not because she didn't need the learning, but because everyone knew she was far ahead. Optional, something that is not required. Example from the story. Recognition was optional. She didn't need the world to applaud her achievements, only to know that she had made a contribution. Enable, to make something possible or give someone the tools to achieve something. Example from the story. Her work felt like her only purpose, something that enabled her to make sense of a world that otherwise seemed so chaotic. Now, let's check your understanding of the story. See if you can answer these questions. Question 1. How would you describe Lily's state of mind during her struggle to solve the equation? Can you think of another word that describes how she felt during her lowest point? Question 2. Why do you think Lily felt that recognition was optional after solving the equation? Feel free to pause the video and write down your answers in the comments. Great work today. Well done. You've just completed another story with English Storytime Adventures. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more fun and educational stories. And don't forget to leave a comment with your thoughts or answers to the questions. I'd love to see how much you've learned. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next episode of English Storytime Adventures. Until then, happy learning.